Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you to this special City Council meeting. And first item is listed as declarations of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. Seeing no hands, I'm joined in the council chamber by Joan Thompson, the Chief Administrative Officer, Tatiana Defoe, the Deputy Clerk, and Chris Bantock, Tatiana Defoe, our City Clerk, and Chris Bantock, our Deputy Clerk, as well as there's a number of directors online, and I welcome the members of council this afternoon. Item 3 is an adjournment for a public meeting. Proposed amendment to the building bylaw 112-205, including fee schedule. And I'll ask for an adjournment for the public meeting if we could. Councillor Vasilakos and Councillor Ritzma. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. So I'll call the public meeting to order, and the purpose of this meeting is to give council and the public an opportunity to hear all interested persons with respect to an amendment to the building bylaw 112-2005, a bylaw passed pursuant to the Building Code Act governing the issuing and charging of permits. The proposal will amend and establish new increased permit fees for all types of building permits. And the order of procedure for this afternoon's meeting is as follows. Staff will present the proposed amendments, bylaw 112-2005. Council may ask questions for the purposes of clarifying the proposed amendments, but are cautioned not to make comments nor take a position on the issue at the public meeting. Registered delegations will be asked for their presentations, comments, and questions. Then it will be followed by questions and comments and Q&A, which read by the clerk's office staff member. The public is also advised the comments expressed and written material presented are a matter of public record for full disclosure. Are there any questions as to this order of procedure this afternoon? Seeing none, we'll now proceed with the meeting. And I will ask Jonathan DeWeerd, our Chief Building Official, to make the staff presentation. Jonathan.
Thank you. Through you, Your Worship. Building permit fees within the City of Stratford are set at levels to recoup the reasonable fees required to maintain building services as revenue neutral. Staff reviewed the past 5 years of permit activity for the city and broke this down by type of application submitted. We then considered the amount of time to process each application, complete the inspections, and close out the permits. This was used as a factor to ensure adequate staffing levels, in addition determining reasonable fees required for each permit type. These fees were then compared to similar sized local centers as well as our neighbors in Perth County. Since communities have different types of service levels, staffing, types of permits issued, as well as the amount of indirect charges charged back to the department, there will be slight variances between different communities' building permit fees. As noted in our report, in 2018, indirect costs for items such as IT services, corporate services, and rent were introduced to the budget for building services. This is standard practice for municipalities to charge these types of items back. As there have been no reviews completed to building permit fees since 2015 and no increases, these extra fees have essentially been funded through the Building Permit Reserve Fund. The Building Permit Reserve Fund will be depleted by the end of 2020, and in fact, it is likely that it will have a negative balance by the end of the fiscal year. The fees noted in this report are the reasonable fees required to ensure that building services remain as net revenue neutral and allows for reestablishment of building permit revenue. And I'm able to take any questions.
Members of council having questions at this time? Any member of council having a question? All right. At this time, Madam Clerk, we have registered delegates. Okay. There are no registered delegations. Yes, Councillor Vasilakos.
Just a quick note, Councillor Burback has lost her video, but she can still hear and comment, but just that you won't see her waving.
Thank you.
But keep a listen for her in case she wants to make a comment.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Kathy.
Councillor Burback, do you have anything at this time?
I do not. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions from members of council? We have no registered delegates. Are there any questions or comments that could be read into the record from the clerk's office at this time?
Through you, Your Worship, no comments or questions have been submitted through the question and answer feature in Zoom.
Okay. At This time, is there any member of the public that has joined us online who has any items they'd like to have looked at this point? I believe that all the people that are online presently are either council or city staff.
Through the chair, that is correct. There are no attendees in the meeting at this time.
Okay, Councillor Henderson.
So we didn't receive anything from any of the builders or SABA or anything? No comments or concerns?
Through you, your worship, there were no concerns issued by SABA. We did correspond with their executive officer, and he actually indicated that they were happy with the levels of service that we were provided and expected there would be no comments from SABA at this time.
Wow.
Thank you, Jonathan. Is there anything else? Anyone else at this time? Mr. DeWeer, do you have any closing comments?
I do not. Thank you.
At this time, City Council intends to consider the amendment to the building bylaw 112-2005 at a future Infrastructure, Transportation and Safety Committee meeting where members of council will have an opportunity for full discussion of the proposed amendments after reviewing comments received from the public at this time. If anyone would like to receive further notice of this proposed amendment, please email clerks@stratford.ca. A video of this meeting will be posted to the city's website, and I'll declare this public meeting adjourned at this time. If we could reconvene to the agenda under item 4 is the confirmatory bylaw for this afternoon's meeting. It can be read a first and second time. Councillor Clifford and Councillor Bunting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. That's carried. Third and final reading, Councillor Gaffney and Councillor Sebin. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any? And that's carried. A motion to adjourn this afternoon's proceedings, Councillor Henderson and Councillor Vasilakos. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Thank you, everyone.